Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. The New York Jets are trading Le'Veon Bell for Peyton Manning and the ability to leave the AFC East forever, Perna. Last episode, I said the Browns have been the most entertaining team to follow this last year. Well, the Jets may be the most entertaining team to follow over the last 2 months, with an emphasis on this last week. The Jets saw the insanity that surrounded the Giants after they reached so far to take Daniel Jones. We all thought they were in child's pose and said, "We can outdo those stretchy giant bastards. We employed Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez at the same time, for Christ's sake. We enabled Joe Namath's drinking. We paid Chad Pennington $40 million, and we have no clue why. We are the New York Jets, and we will be the epitome of football dysfunction in the world's greatest city, New Jersey. Not the Giants, not the Mets, and not the... Well, nobody can really compete with the Knicks for dysfunction. Today, we will recap the Jets' deranged offseason from free agency to the draft and ask, did this team improve? Are they still on the rise, or is Adam Gase the NFL's version of a crazy-ass little finger? That's good sports. Please, if you like football and you want me to stop squinting like Gilbert Godfrey, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. Hair, beard, chest, back, balls, feet. Hair, beard, chest, back, balls, feet. Hair, beard, chest, back, balls, feet. Fish market? It doesn't matter where you shave, it matters how you shave. The #1 place for total body maintenance is Manscaped.com. As a man with the ability to grow hair on any part of my body that's thicker than the jungles in the Amazon basin, I have put the Lawnmower 2.0 through the ringer. It is my favorite manscaping tool, and I recommend you try the Perfect Package 2.0 plus peak hygiene plan. It comes with the lawnmower, the plow, the crop preserver, the crop reviver, the pube mat, and a free travel storage bag, and a replacement blade for your lawnmower every 3 months for just $14.99. If you're already manscaping, definitely check out their new replenishment plans, where you choose the frequency of delivery so you never run out of your favorite product. Use my promo code SPORT20 or the link in the description to save 20% when you order from Manscaped. Every football year, I root for 2 things. I pray for 2 things: the Denver Broncos to win, and for some team, any team in the AFC East, to topple the fucking Patriots. Jets, I'm always on your side. Even after Isaiah Crowell and Bilal Powell combined for over 300 rushing yards against my team, and then basically did nothing for the rest of the year, I root for you to topple the empire. If you Google New York Jets right now, this is what you get. Le'Veon Bell trade rumors, Peyton Manning becoming the Jets GM rumors, and praise for Jonathan Harrison playing center from Adam Gase. Which makes me ask, how awesome is Harrison playing center at practice to sneak into the headlines like this? Game changer, Jets. Before I address the Jets' firing of the General Manager Mike Maccagnan, trading of Darron Lee, and alleged pursuit of Peyton Manning or Daniel Jeremiah to be the next GM, let's briefly recap the 2018 season for the Jets. The Jets franchise is supposed to be changed for the greater good with the 2018 first-round selection of quarterback Sam Darnold. There's no arguing that out of the gate, though, Baker Mayfield has looked far superior to Sam Darnold as an NFL QB. But you have to remember, Darnold is only 21 and Baker's 24. That's 3 solid years of football experience. 3 years learning to tame tigers while shirtless. Have we ever seen Darnold shirtless? We've seen Baker, we've seen Drew Brees without a shirt, both of the Manning brothers all shirtless. That's why Baker will win a Super Bowl before Darnold. Now, Sam Darnold's first throw in the NFL was, of course, a pick 6 on Monday Night Football against the Lions. A pretty solid representation of what the last 8 seasons for the Jets have probably felt like. Darnold made the stupid mistake of going on to win his first game 48-17, giving Jets fans and the national football media a false sense of optimism for 2018. But kindly forecasted a season of misery for the Detroit Lions. Darnold had a typical rookie season in the NFL. Shitty. with flashes of hope. When anyone says, well, he showed flashes, that means the physical skill set is there, but he mostly played like shit. The reason to believe in Sam Darnold is because he's young. By the time he's 25, he'll be negotiating a $100+ million contract with 4 full NFL seasons of experience. By comparison, Tom Brady got his first start at 24. Phil Rivers may have had 5 kids already, but he was close to 25 before getting his first start. But then again, Ben Roethlisberger went 13-0 in his first season at age 22, and we all know how mature that goon is. Needless to say, second-year expectations are very high for Darnold, even if it's unfairly so with the new head coach in year 2 and a shit show of a GM situation that not a single fucking football person understands. Why do you fire your GM after he spends all your free agency money and gets you through the draft? Besides the rumors that he and Adam Gase can't get along, it doesn't make any sense, and I feel sorry for Jets fans. And I'm sorry, Jets fans, I want to fill you with hope, but every single day the GM search gets dumber. Your franchise may be fucked. If there is any truth to this tweet that the Jets are planning on reaching out to Peter Schrager for advice in their GM search. Peter Schrager is the worst part of Good Morning Football, and I say that fully acknowledging he sits across the table from Kyle Brandt. You're asking this guy for help? The same guy who sat next to Kay Adams for years and still has to change his pants during every commercial break? Anyway, back to Darnold. Saying he needs a breakout year in his sophomore season is easy. That's why I'm picking my breakout player to be tight end Chris Herndon. He had a pretty good rookie season with 4 touchdowns and 39 catches, one more than Quincy Enunwa. Enunwa battled injuries last season, otherwise he would have played a bigger role in the Jets offense. I expect Enunwa and Herndon both to get more targets with Adam Gase running the offense. I think you can call the Jets receiving core a sleeper unit. Assuming Robbie Anderson stays out of Florida and avoids any more legal troubles, he could be the next Deshaun Jackson, with Enunwa assuming the Jarvis Landry type role like he had with 112 catches under Gase and Cutler in 2017. Robbie Anderson has the freakish speed, a new 1-year prove-it contract, but I really think Adam Gase is going to build their passing game around Enunwa and find ways to get Herndon the ball for easy throws from Sam Darnold. Now, looking at Jets offseason key losses. The Jets fired head coach Todd Bowles after 4 seasons. That wasn't a surprise, and neither was the Jets trading of linebacker Darron Lee. The surprise was Adam Gase making that trade just hours after becoming GM and receiving very little value for a former first-round draft pick. They received just a 6th rounder for Lee. Sure, Lee hasn't lived up to expectations, but last year he found success in coverage. I think he could have been great next to CJ Mosley with the best safety in the NFL, Jamal Adams, and the improving Marcus May to mix coverage disguises with, even if it's just for 1 season. Special teams got worse with the loss of Pro Bowl kicker Jason Myers and returner Andre Roberts. Myers was a 91.7% kicker in 2018, which by 2018 field goal standards was Hall of Fame level. However, he commanded a big chunk of change, and that was really his first good season kicking in the league. The Jets also lost Isaiah Crowell, running back, corner buster screen, more like busted coverage, center Spencer Long, guard James Carpenter, and defensive tackle Mike Pennell, who the Patriots scooped up so the Jets fans can see the mistakes their management made twice a year. Key additions include my personal hero, quarterback Trevor Siemian, who will make Sam Darnold the man he needs to be. Basically all the coaches, but specifically head coach Adam Gase and defensive coordinator Greg Williams, 2 hirings no Jets fans should feel great about at this point, mostly because their personalities are like oil and water. Not that they won't mix with each other, but like they can't mix with anyone. New York signed 2 pricey players in linebacker CJ Mosley and running back Le'Veon Bell. Both play positions that a lot of teams do not put that type of financial premium on. Personally though, I like both of these signings because of the talent level Mosley and Bell possess. I also understand why Adam Gase would maybe want to spread the Bell money around to other positions like, I don't know, corner and offensive line. That said, if Adam Gase is the offensive guru Peyton Manning touted him to be, then he'd be a fucking idiot to not want Le'Veon Bell in his backfield, especially with a second-year quarterback. And we all know Peyton Manning is going to take a GM job so he can trade all of his picks from 2020 to 2025 for the first pick in the 2026 draft when his nephew Arch Manning is finally draft eligible. Will it be with the Jets? Probably not. Now, the Jets signed Anthony Barr in the same way the Buffalo Bills traded for Antonio Brown. Barr spent about 5 minutes with Adam Gase and was like, I don't care how much playing next to CJ Mosley will help my game. I'm going back to Minnesota where Kirk Cousins will play great, except for when it matters. Either way, I plan on not being in the playoffs next year. Former Redskin Potatoes receiver Jamison Crowder should be a nice addition for Sam Darnold in the passing game. The best bargain pickup for the Jets may be guard Kelechi Osemele in a trade with the Raiders that cost the Jets just a swapping of 5th-round picks. Osemele has been pretty damn good just about every season until he was forced to play with Tom Cable and John Gruden. The Jets O-line sounds like a great vacation destination. You've got the beach here, equipped with seashells, but then you remember this isn't a warm beach. It's a Canadian beach stuck in the winter, where you better be hairy, son, or you'll freeze your fucking balls off. That's how I evaluate offensive line play. And here's a key addition we don't usually talk about in these videos. Their new uniforms. The Jets got rid of their classic AFL Joe Namath uniforms in favor of these new unis with green jerseys and green helmets. If you don't think uniforms are important, then please look at the history of the 49ers versus the history of the Jaguars. That's literally the only difference between 0 and 5 Super Bowls. Now, the Jets draft. For the second straight season, New York selected 3rd overall in the draft, and for the second straight year, they selected a player many believed could have been the 1st overall pick in Alabama defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. Williams had 52 quarterback pressures last season, and that should translate immediately to that Jets defensive line. Quinnen may make 2015 6th overall pick Leonard Williams expendable, who has been rumored to be on the trading block with Adam Gase as interim dictator. Then in round 3, the Jets added Florida outside linebacker Ja'Kai Polite, as he'd be the least likely player in the draft to piss off Adam Gase. Not because his last name is Polite, but because he's been labeled as an arrogant, selfish person with major character concerns by some NFL scouts. Gase and Greg Williams understand him. Also in round 3, Sam Darnold's former bodyguard at USC, right tackle Chuma Edoga, was taken. And don't be surprised if he's starting by mid-season. Round 4, Darnold gets more protection with one of the best blocking tight ends going to New York. I won't even say the name of the West Virginia tight end, because as a blocking tight end, nobody will ever remember his name. In round 5 and 6, New York drafted Minnesota linebacker Blake Cashman. They were going to get a Minnesota linebacker one way or the other. And Blasson, Austin, cornerback, Rutgers. That was their draft. So the 2019 prediction for the New York Jets. It's hard to predict the fate of the Jets because with the firing of Maccagnan, we don't know if the Jets are a finished product right now. There's still talk, specifically from John Clayton of ESPN, saying there's a chance they could trade Le'Veon Bell before the season begins. But for this video, let's assume the Jets hang on to Lev Bell, which I think is worth a win or two in 2019 alone by virtue of him being on the roster. Let's also assume Joe Douglas, not the British theater director, but the Eagles VP of player personnel, lands the GM gig. And yes, this is cliche as hell, but it's true to say that Sam Darnold's jump from year 1 to year 2 is crucial to the Jets' success. Last year, Darnold threw 17 touchdowns and 15 picks on 57% completion. I can almost guarantee the completion percentage goes up because he's going to throw the ball to Le'Veon Bell pretty often. Bell had 85 and 75 receptions in the last 2 seasons he played, way back in 2001 and 2002. If Darnold can get just a little bit better in every category and improve to something like 23 touchdowns and only 14 picks and 3,500 passing yards, that's a successful jump in my book. And maybe the offensive line is not better. I think that's the Jets' weakness, but the running back position is far improved, and with the addition to Jamison Crowder to the receiving group, I think that is very, very plausible. And Darnold has a lot of good weapons to pass to. Not guys who are going to blow you away, but solid, reliable receivers. And of course, they have to play the Patriots twice. But like the Patriots, they get 4 games against the Dolphins and the Bills. Two teams that are also depending on sophomore quarterbacks. But quarterbacks I don't think have as much in them as Sam Darnold. That's not a drug mule or gay joke. I'm talking about talent inside of them. If things go according to plan, I think the Jets could be looking at a 7-9 or 8-8 season, which is a nice improvement considering the last week for the Jets has been a shit show. The problem is we don't know the plan anymore. The Jets may not know the plan anymore. Mike Maccagnan appeared to have somewhat of a plan, but it feels like Adam Gase put the plan into a paper shredder, mixed it into a smoothie, hit the puree button, and drank that shit up. My guarantee is I think the Jets will be better than the Dolphins. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. We will be breaking down more teams, so let me know who you want to see next in the comments. I think the Colts are winning. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, @BrandonPerna if you want to follow me there, and make sure you give my friend @Wilkey6 a follow on Twitter. He helps me write all of these football episodes.